Yo, what's going on, Heat fans? How you doing? It's your host, MA of the Heat Vlog Spot. Thank you very much for coming back and checking us out. And it's been a little bit of a roller coaster since the last time we see each other. We just beat the Lakers, though. We lost to Memphis. Then before that, we won 4 in a row. Everything was looking good. And the Victor Oladipo starting to look around. And then what happens last night? Oladipo gets hurt. And we don't know what's happening. But we'll get into it. Thanks for joining me. Thank you. All right, Heat fans. So, if you watched the game last night, we swept the Lakers this season. So they haven't beaten us this season. And to me, it just solidifies the fact, I don't care that their team was hurt and they're missing their players. The Heat would have beat the Lakers in the finals last year if Dragic and Bam were not hurt. I don't care. Simple as that. I said it. I'll go to the grave with it. I don't care. Simple as that. But it was a great game, honestly. I didn't get to watch all of it. I had to work, so I kind of came in more in the second half. But Tyler Hero looked great. Victor Oladipo was awesome. Bam was doing his thing. Jimmy Butler again making a case for MVP because he's putting his team on his back when he needs to. It's been awesome to watch. And, he's just showing everyone he has the goods. Like, he had this in him, and he knows he has it in him, and he just now showing it to the world. And it's great that he's wearing a Heat uniform. Thank you, God, for him for coming, right? But going back to Oladipo, man, we had that first monstrous dunk that looked awesome, and then that second dunk, which that's where he came down, and he felt he was pushing his knee around, his right knee, I believe. And, we were waiting for updates. Spo said last night that they're going to evaluate him today. Sorry. And, Bam even mentioned last night that in the locker room, he looked good. He had a little scare. So that was a little positive light. But the whole thing with the Heat not saying anything today so far, and right now it's almost 5 o'clock Eastern time, is a little worrisome. That scares me a little bit. I hope it's nothing serious. They're probably going to take a precaution route. Even if it's not that serious, they're probably going to be like, okay, you probably miss a week. Let's chill. We'll keep an eye on it. Light work. And if all is well in a week, go back out there and we go. And if it's not that, if it's a little worse, then we'll probably be very cautious into the playoffs. We'll probably shut them down in a sense. Hopefully it doesn't take, that's it, the season, he's done. Hopefully it's more of a thing where we're just like, you know what? Let's give this some time to heal until like 2 weeks before the season ends. You come back, you ramp up, you help us make the last final push of seedings, and then that's when you also get ready for the playoffs. So, either way, it is what it is. The good thing is that the Heat did not trade Kendrick Nunn in this whole process. So, Kendrick Nunn, this is your time to come back and keep doing what you're doing. I think this is how Kendrick Nunn should be utilized. He doesn't do anything particularly great. He does a lot of things very well. So now it's just time to take advantage of it, and I hope he does. I hope he really does. And real quick, guys, if you guys are enjoying my videos and everything, and I'm not coming out with them as frequently as I like to anymore because of work and other stuff getting involved. So it's more like every once in a week and a half I'll be coming out with new episodes. But on Twitter, I'm always active, especially during the games. Please follow me at Heat Vlog Spot on Twitter, and you'll get all the up-to-date stuff. I am going to try to start using the free app Locker Room, which is just a free app for anyone to use and is openly discuss sports. And I'm hoping to start my own Miami Heat Locker Room with the Heat Vlog Spot. So once I do that, I'll share that, guys, with you, most likely on Twitter, most likely on my next episode. So keep an eye on that. And if you guys already have those things, if you're already using Locker Room, please let me know how you like it and how you're using it, because it's been pretty cool. I also listened to Josh Lloyd of Locked On Fantasy Basketball, and he's usually on there too, and he's asking people to come on and do live talks with him and live questions, and it sounds like a pretty cool thing to do. Might as well try it out and meet some new Heat fans and discuss some cool Heat stuff, right? So thank you, guys. Just remember, at Heat Vlog Spot on Twitter to get all my latest episodes, all my latest info, all my latest reactions on everything. All right. So that's where Depo's at. We'll hope he's good. And right now, currently in the standings, we are 6. We're tied basically with Charlotte and Atlanta, but because they have better records against us than we do against them, because they've beaten us more times, they're leading us. And I think that's the best we can do so far with the remaining amount of games we have, and the records that are already at task. We're probably best looking at a 4th seed, which is what we really want anyways, because you don't want the 6th seed or 7th seed or 8th seed, because you have to play one of the big 3 of the East so far, and which is the Bucks, Sixers, or Nets. And if you land there in 6 or 7, you're basically if you're in 7th, you're playing the play-in game. But if you're 6, let's say you have to play the Bucks. Then you beat the Bucks, and then the second round is probably the Sixers. Then you got to beat the Sixers, and then the final round of the East, you're probably playing the Nets. So you just going one after another. You're just playing big talent, and I don't know if that's not necessarily the road you want to take to the finals. So 4th seed is what we want. We'll probably play the Hornets or the Hawks. Slight chance to play the Celtics, which I'm not scared of any of those teams. We can definitely take them down. Then that's our warm-up round. Then we play the 1st seed, which is most likely going to be the Nets. And honestly, I like that because Nets are dealing with injuries and dealing with all these different things. So they're still going to be very cautious in the beginning of these playoff rounds. They're going to get really serious in the second round, but they're not going to get super serious until the East Finals. So second round is where we can take advantage of them not playing their best, most likely, not playing everybody most likely, because they're still going to be cautious. I mean, Kevin Durant was not supposed to be out for 8 weeks. So that tells you there's something going on. James Harden got hurt again. Kyrie loves to get hurt. It's in my opinion, he loves to get hurt. So, things could go right our way if we get the Nets in the second round. And then who knows? Then we play either Philly or the Bucks in the East Finals. If it's the Bucks, I like our chances. If it's the Sixers, I think Spo will figure out a great way to minimize Embiid and force Ben Simmons to beat us. And that's really who you want, because he can't shoot. So you never know. And then we're back in the finals, and we're playing whoever comes out of there. And I'm not even gonna try to guess who comes out of the West, because honestly, I think it's like 5 teams out there that can probably pull it out, depending on various factors. But it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We were doing great. We just lost, to Memphis, unfortunately, and that kind of ruined our streak there. But then we came back and beat LA, and we need that, because on Sunday we're playing the Blazers, and then on Tuesday we're playing the Suns, and then on Wednesday we're playing the Nuggets, and then finally on Friday, 16th, we're playing Minnesota, which Minnesota, though, has Cat, and I feel like when he plays against Jimmy, there's some feelings there. He wants to beat us, and so I'm not necessarily sold that we'll win that game. Also, that team is full of players that just seem like they'll kill us. Like, I feel like Anthony Edwards will have a big game against us, or D'Angelo Russell, or somebody in that team would just go off growing crazy. Then after that, we play the Nets, that would be a nice little preview. Hopefully we're at full speed. Maybe they're at full speed, and we can actually gauge how good our team is. But now, saying that out loud, the next 3 games are really going to show how good our team is. How prepared are we? Hopefully Depot is in those games, but if not, we just got to take the challenge, and we need to come out hopefully winning more than we lose. We do, and it's a 4-game road trip until we come back home to play the Nets. And then after the Nets, we play Houston, then we play San Antonio, then we play Atlanta. So honestly, we got to get through this road trip. We got to get through the Nets. So in a week, we're looking at it from a little bit over a week from now. We're going to have a little bit of an easier schedule with Houston, San Antonio, Atlanta, Chicago twice, San Antonio again, Cleveland, Charlotte, Dallas, Minnesota. Whew, it's looking good. Boston, then Philly. Then we ended pretty competitively, honestly, because we got played Celtics twice, May 9th and 11th. Then we played the Sixers on the 13th of May. Then we played the Bucks on the 15th of May. And then finally we end the season on the 16th of May against Detroit. Some of these teams could be playing for playoff seeding. Maybe the Sixers and Bucks are locked in their seeding. They probably will sit down and rest some players. But I can see most likely they're going to go half speed and sometimes half speed is just enough to beat us when we don't decide to show up. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But, it's exciting stuff. I'm excited. And another thing to be excited about is, you probably heard, Dwayne Dedmon has signed with the Miami Heat. The Heat signed him. If you don't know who he is, he played for the Hawks for a couple of seasons, started a lot of their games, as just recently as 2 years ago. He was in Sacramento as well. He was primarily in Orlando for a lot of his career. That's where I first knew him, coming up in 2014, 2015. And, I like his game. He expanded his game to shoot from the 3-point line. He had 1 year that was really well, shooting really well from three. Then other years it's been spotty, low 30%. I think he's a reliable, I don't think he's great at anything, but he's reliable. Like, he can rebound a little bit, he can play defense a little bit of shot blocking, maybe a little bit of help defense, maybe a little bit of pick and roll defense, and then on offense he gets space to floor. Hopefully he's a good finisher, finishes more around the rim than he doesn't. And if he does all those things, great. I still don't think he's being signed to play big minutes. He's being signed as an insurance policy. I think he'll play ahead of Precious once he gets comfortable and acclimated with everything. That's for sure. But I don't see him playing big minutes. I think it's still Nemanja Bjelica's more. It's more his job to lose to Dwayne Dedmon. And I'm still worried about Dwayne Dedmon's injury. It was reported before the signing that he was going to take the rest of the season to rehab and get stronger and then try to come back to the NBA next season. But this happened. So I don't know what happened between then and then. Hopefully he just feels more confident. The Heat made him feel confident. But that worries me a little bit. So hopefully it's all good. He was active to play yesterday against the Lakers, but he did not. So, but Precious did go in there, played as solid as he can. It was a roller coaster night for Precious as well, but he played as solid as he can, and at least he got some highlights for us. So that's nice. And that block was a block. That was a block. That was nasty. That was a block. Anyways, and now I want to talk about our good friend, Heat legend. He's going to be forever known as a Heat player once he retires, and that's Goran Dragic or Dragic. I forgot the other way you pronounce his name. I'm just so used to saying Dragic or there's Yar. I don't know. I don't remember. I know someone on YouTube on my comments a while back got on me about the way I say Goran or Dragic or whatever. It is what it is. This is how I'm saying it, and I'm used to it. Whatever. But it's noticeable, guys. It's noticeable. He's on the downhill of his career now, unfortunately. We saw the peak and the very best of Dragic in the playoffs last year, leading us to the finals. He was definitely the best player on the court for us. The most reliable scorer. He was hitting shots that were needed at the right time when we thought we didn't have anything. He would chuck it up or do something, create, and he was masterful. And I say that with nothing but my whole heart. It was beautiful to watch, and probably a third. If there's three reasons why we went to the finals, is Bam, Jimmy, and Dragic, and Dragic's the first piece of that. He was number one, and then it's Bam, and then it's Jimmy, probably, honestly. But man, it sucks because he's just a step slower, and he's having a hard time creating his shot, and he's having a hard time getting to the rim and going around screens, and he's just a shell of himself right now, man. I really don't know if this is it, because it could be. He's over 35. That was an injury that he probably should have not came back so fast at his age. He probably should have taken a little bit more time to take care of it and ensure that everything's gonna be fine for the run we're in right now. But that already passed. No sour grapes. We need him right now, though. I strongly believe that. And I think we still need his presence. We still need him on the floor. He's still a great spot-up shooter. And I think he still has flashes when he can. Is he going to be the Dragon that we've seen of old? I'm sorry. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think there'll be games where we'll see the Dragon, similar to Dwayne Wade, where he was the Flash again. He was prime MVP, MB3. He was showing us the bag. Boom, boom, boom. Step back, this and that. Spin, post move, got you, pull up, easy 1, 2, 3. I think we'll see those games from Dragon from time to time. But I think that's where I really want to see it is in the playoffs. And we have to make sure he, just like we're doing with Iggy, don't overplay him. Play him enough. Play him at the right moments. This is all on Spo too. And make sure that he's ready 100% for the playoffs to be called upon. Because that's when we really might lean on Iggy. That's when we really might lean on Dragic and everything. Especially if Victor can't come back. Because I don't know about you guys. I don't have high hopes for none. I think Tyler would take another step in the playoffs. And if Tyler takes a big step, like he took a huge step last year in the playoffs. He was like the X factor in a sense for us. Because everyone knew what Bam, Jimmy, and Dragic were going to do in a sense. But no one knew what Tyler was going to do. And he was the X factor. And if Tyler right now, who's upped up his career averages in his second year, he's averaging more assists, more rebounds, and more points. If he takes another step in doing all three of those categories, producing more, that eases the amount of need on Dragic. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Tyler, and I think that's what Tyler is. I think Tyler's a game. He's a pure hooper, game hooper. He's gonna play great. He's a good player, so he's gonna play better most nights than not. But when it comes to real games, real moments, more times than not, he's a hooper and he's gonna show up and do the big things. And we've been seeing it as of late. I think the trade deadline really messed him up in his head mentally for a couple weeks. Now we've gotten through that. He's making shots. He's being confident against the Blazers. He was making that shot where it was from the logo. He's his confidence, and I think that's what's going to happen again. I know everyone wanted him to be that Devin Booker. Of course, I did too. That starter straight from the beginning of the season. And I think we went over our heads a little bit, which is fine. We're Heat fans. That's what we do sometimes. But, I think he's going to take another step, though. And it's going to be great. And that's exactly what we need. So, looking forward to that. Be on the lookout. Tyler Hero is going to be taking another step in this playoffs. I strongly, strongly believe that. And I can't wait. All right. And I just want to let you guys know how I feel about the recent, play of the Heat. I feel good. I think Spo a lot of times is just experimenting stuff. I think the Memphis game was Spo experimenting with how good his team is. Everyone was getting mad about why are we switching and let it, Valanciunas to take advantage of Dragic and all their small guys. Why isn't Bam taking the challenge and all this stuff? And I was thinking though, you know what? I think he's trying to understand and see who, if we play the Sixers, if we play the Nets, and it has Aldridge and other big guys, and with the Sixers and Embiid, can we rely on other players to help Bam so Bam can help them in the perimeter? And that wasn't a good showing, but I don't think it will be the last of it. I think we're gonna play Minnesota a couple times. We're gonna play Chicago a couple times, and they all have big guys. We're gonna play Brooklyn one more time. We're gonna play Philly one more time, and I think we're gonna see Spo experiment on defense. And if he in a couple of these games, or Denver too, in a couple of these games, if we're not doing well in the switches, or we're not doing well with Bam switching like that, and just having that kind of defense, I think Spo would change it up and sure, but he needs to see what his team has. I think he also experimented because it was Memphis. It was like, you know what, Memphis is not great at shooting, blah blah blah, and unfortunately they got hot. Dylan Brooks was definitely still mad about Iggy, so he got hot in the third. It is what it is. I ain't mad about it. It sucks that we lost, but I ain't mad about it. But I honestly think it's just him, doing his job, trying to see what he has, and using, this opportunity. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna get the third seed. We're still in play for the fourth seed. Everything is fine, so we still can get home court advantage. Spo knows what he's doing. I have 100% faith in Spo. I'm not worried about this. And I think we just all have to trust what he's doing, trust the culture, trust our coach who has led us to two championships, who has been here since the before our first championship, who was in the video room watching champions be built. And then he finally got to coach himself to be a champion and other players. So I'm trusting it. And I can see what he's doing. And it's the right move. It's the right play. So I'm not mad at it. All right, guys. Now, the very last thing I want to say is I'm happy for Kelly O. A lot of us are like, why is Kelly O doing all this now that he's in Houston? It's the scheme, guys. It's the way we played. It's the way Coach Spo wanted the offense to be played. It is what it is. In Houston, Steven Silas at this point is just like, do what you do and play. Because they're not playing for anything. You know, and they do better off if they lose, because they need to get in the draft and make picks and make some picks, you know. So they don't care right now. And Kelly O is playing freely, and I think Kelly O is just a really smart IQ player on offense, super high IQ on offense, and he's just taking advantage. And he's just more loose. There's not this pressure of trying to lose his starting spot or starting to lose minutes, because his minutes were up and down as well, depending on the matchup, depending on so many other things, depending if he was shooting well. You know, if another person was shooting well, Coach Spo might just ride with that guy and not him. So there's just a lot of factors. And right now, there's hardly any rotation pieces in Houston, and he just has to be played. So he's just playing freely, knowing that he gets to play. And on top of that, he's going to be a free agent. So he's just padding the numbers to ensure that his contract next year is going to be nice. You know, I saw a joke on Twitter like, oh, the numbers he's putting up, it seems like the perfect player next to Bam. You know, it's just funny stuff like that. And at the end of the day, guys, it's just a lot of it's scheme. A lot of it's the things we're trying to do and not do. It is what it is, but I'm happy for Kelly. Keep it up, Kelly O. I don't know if you're watching this. I don't know if anyone knows him that's watching this, but if you maybe just let him know I'm happy for him. He's doing a good job. And I always knew he had it in him. So, Kelly O. That's it. All right, guys. Again, hit me up on Twitter at HeatBlogspot. Follow me there. That's where you get all my latest information, all my latest reactions, and everything Heat. Thank you very much. If you want, Facebook as well at HeatBlogspot. You can even email me, heatblogspot@gmail.com. All right. Yeah, let me know how you guys feel, how the Heat are coming on, what you guys think about Victor, what do you think about Dwayne Dedmon, what do you think about Bielitsa, what do you think about the season in general. It's all good. I appreciate the love, guys. Thank you so much. Share the video if you can. I'll see you guys next time. Peace, deuces. Be good to each other.